Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. My name is Chloe. I am a singer, songwriter, writer and a guitarist, and alongside that I also do this and go to college, so I do a lot. So as you can tell by the title of this video, today I am going to be sharing with you my 3-stage outlining process. I am just going to get straight into this video and go through my outlining process. I'm using my hands a lot, I don't often do this. Yes, I am a plotter, very much so, hence the 3-stage. I've been reading through the definition of love recently, and I had a very tedious outline for that. I did the same method that I'm going through in this video, however it is slightly different and you'll see why. I used this method with the definition of love pretty much, and I've been reading through it. I started reading through it, and so far there has been no plot holes and no major developmental things that I feel like I need to change. So I definitely feel like doing everything in the outlining stage is all worth it. And if you're a plotter like me, then this might be the method for you. However, I'm not saying anything. You can try as many different outlining methods as possible and see which works for you, and if this works for you then great, but if it doesn't, don't worry, there are plenty more outlining methods out there that you can use. And if you're very much so a pantser, why you're watching this video, because 3-stage I think would probably freak you out a little bit. So like I said, I have a 3-stage outlining process, and I also have my little note sheet right here because I did try pantsing this video, but I'm a plotter, so I had to make some notes. Okay, so my first stage is brain dumping or brainstorming, whatever you want to call it. In this stage, what I generally do is open a Word document up on my laptop, and I will get a load of scene ideas that I have onto that document, and I'll actually format it so it's the text is centered in the middle, and I will just write a load of scene ideas down and get them all onto the document. And I would say this probably takes me about a month. The brainstorming process, I will just go through, I'll just write a load of scene ideas down and get them onto a document, and then if I am out and about, if I get a scene idea while I'm out and about, I either use my phone, which is generally more convenient, and I'll just jot the scene ideas down onto my phone in Google Keep, because I downloaded that for my phone because my phone doesn't actually have a notes function. So I have Google Keep, and it also means that it syncs up onto other devices as well if I need to access that on other devices. However, I also use a notebook, so my scene ideas are probably all in 3 different places. However, when I actually get around to typing up a scene idea that's on my phone, I will delete that off my phone. And the other thing I do is that I keep my scene ideas in a notebook. I went on holiday at the beginning of August, and I knew I would have to do a bit of brainstorming while I was away if I wanted to get the pre-outlining stage done in time. And so I took my notebook with me, and a couple nights I sat down and I knew some of my subplots that I had, so I just came up with some scene ideas to further that subplot. And then I think I didn't do much on holiday, but when I got back from holiday I obviously wrote all of those scene ideas up. I think I had quite a few long ones, and it was actually quite painful to write out because you're like sat there for so long and just typing it up, it can be annoying. So all of my scene ideas actually all end up in one place, and I think it's just the best place. You know, it can start off in 3 different places but end up in one place. So that is that stage. Sorry, I'm like fiddling with my top so much. So my second stage is actually separated. The second stage is actually separated into 2 parts, and the first part is my puzzle pieces method. And what I will do is I will print off all of my scene documents, and at this point I'll probably have about 10 pages worth, which is pretty great if I say so myself, because I'm constantly creative. I am always inspired by things around me and events that occur in my life. I don't know if any of you know this, but this book series that I've started working on is actually a series that was inspired by a real life thing, I guess. I'm not gonna like say too much about it, but it was inspired by the time when I started coming up with the idea and the people around me at the time. And yes, the puzzle pieces method, I print everything off, and after printing all of that off, I will go ahead and chop all of the scenes down into individual like cards type thing, so they're all separate from each other, and that way I can get a better view of the amount of scene ideas I have and where they need to be. Which brings me on to the next point of the puzzle pieces method, and at this point I will start separating all of the scene ideas into different parts. So for the second book I'm working on currently, I have 4 parts, just like my first book, just like The Definition of Love. Yeah, so 4 parts, and the sequel to TDOL is more structured than The Definition of Love was. So it's a lot more easier because the first part for the second book is September, part 2 October, part 3 November, part 4 December. So it's all really structured and really easy actually, so I've found so far. I have all of these different parts that I separate all of my scenes into, and what I will do after that is I'll start with part 1. It's pretty obvious, but I like doing it in chronological order. Starting with part 1, I'll have that out to one side, and then I'll put the rest of the parts away in my trusty folder. Then with part 1 I will separate that all and put all of the scenes into an order that I like, and I think it's because I'm a very visual person that I like doing this. It's just like seeing everything in front of me, and if I need to move things around I can. I'm very flexible when it comes to that kind of thing. I don't restrict myself. I just make sure that I am moving the story in the right direction. So, and I will do this whole process on my bed because it is the biggest flat surface in my room, unfortunately. So I'll do the whole puzzle piece method on my bed. Then once I have all of the scenes in the order that I want them, I will go ahead and start numbering them on the back. I also do write the part that scene is in on the back as well. I might show you an example, but I don't think I have any. Next time I outline, I will show you what I mean, which will be for the third book. Oh my god, I'm so excited. So I'll put all of the parts in order and number them. And so this actually brings me to the second kind of like sub-stage, and I call this the pre-outline. You might have seen a title for a video last month where I was finishing the pre-outline for the sequel to the definition of love, and might have been wondering what it meant. My pre-outline is basically what it is. It's a rough outline before the actual outline. So the pre-outline is when I am completely finished putting all of the parts into order of what I want to happen when, and once I've done all of that, I will actually go ahead and type everything up back onto my computer. Or if you want to be like lazy here, you can just copy and paste from your brainstorming document, but I didn't do that. I just typed everything up really fast. You can like completely forget about like typing everything up and just copy and paste and not do what I do. It'd be a lot faster. When I actually, going back to the first like sub-stage of stage 2, I will actually sometimes write in some handwritten scenes because the flow really, and just continuity, things like that. So going back to the pre-outline, which is stage 2, sub-stage B. Yeah, I will type everything up, or you can copy and paste your scenes from your brainstorming document. As I said, it'd be a lot faster, but no, I obviously don't like being lazy. And then once I've like typed up every single part and written everything up, I will then go ahead and print that document off. Yes, I use a lot of paper, however, I do recycle it. And that actually brings me to my next point, which is another however. And I didn't actually do this with the definition of love. I just pinned all of the scenes onto the wall behind me with blue tack, and that really worked. And I think maybe for the third book I might go back to doing that. So I think I might go back to pinning it up on my wall, which will just be so much easier. However, it won't be easy when I want to outline in my spare time at college, which is a fair point for me wanting to do this, because I think I might be doing a little bit of outlining at college at some point. Who knows? Just sneak in the library and get to work. Because that's how I roll. I did that last year and it was absolutely fine. You can either pin them up on your wall if you have a flat surface, or do what I do and type everything up and print it off, or just copy and paste it because that's so much easier. And then the third stage of my outlining process or method, whatever you want to call it, really doesn't make much of a difference. And so yes, my third stage is outlining. The actual outline. So with the outline, I will either have this or my scenes up on my wall. So when it comes to outlining, I will get my pre-outline out. In this case, this is the pre-outline for me currently, and my pre-outline currently anyway. Recently, I've actually been sitting at my bed. I've recently been sitting on my bed. I'll have my pre-outline right next to me, and I'll also have a red pen to like tick the scenes when they're outlined on my document. I'll also either have headphones in and listen to music that way, or just blast my music out my laptop. Either way works for me. When I outline, I obviously do it in chapters. I break all of this down into actual chapters. That is how I usually do it. I do it on my bed with my laptop on my lap. I won't just write up what's in the pre-outline. I'll really like add to it and get really creative with it. I actually do my books in a dual POV, so a dual point of view, and that means 2 characters, by the way. The first book was obviously Lenny and Colton, and the second book is Bailey and Julian. I have talked about them and the other characters before. Having multiple points of view can be challenging, but I like to balance it, so it's more like I'm telling 2 stories, which is why they end up a ridiculous length. Like, the definition of love was 143,000 words. And actually at the top of the chapter I'll also put the date and whose point of view it'll be told in. And I think I've gone from doing Bailey Julian to Bailey Julian Julian. I just really like to balance it out with the different points of view, make sure they both have an equal input in the book. I think that is pretty much all. So for recap, I am just going to go through all the different stages and name them. So the first one is the brain dump / brainstorm. 2A is puzzle pieces. 2B is pre-outline. And 3, which is actually 4, so 3 is the outlining. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to let me know with a big thumbs up down below. And I never really say this in my videos, but all of my social media links will be in the description down below. If you want to be up to date with pretty much everything, Instagram is the best place. So my Instagram will be linked below, it always is. So go ahead and check out my Instagram, follow me over there so you can get a bit more of an insight to my writing. Also make sure to subscribe for more writerly related and music related videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!